Are you picking this up? Good. I know you need more deep background, but we're up against it.
Indeed, well spoken by General Shepard. I'm facing this challenge since the very beginning of my ambitious Skaratak project. Time can fly faster than you think, and even the results can be unpredictable. I can guess that you also wouldn't mind getting some deep background info about me. But patience, my friend. The time will come, just not today. We have a different topic on the agenda today. The newest software release, powering the centerpiece of my hybrid DJ visual setup, Engine DJ 4.0, just has been released. Just a small teaser ahead, most of the part you will play here, the strongly refreshed and improved user interface. It looks sharp, and it's a real joy to work with it. We are also going to find out what further surprises might await us. Very well, let's get started, shall we? To master the future, you first have to understand the past. At this point, I consider it sensible to take a brief look back at the development of Engine DJ to date, as it is easy to forget how much has improved in the recent years. In version 1, these functions here were gradually implemented, in particular the ability to import metadata from other DJ libraries, and of course the biggest surprise, music streaming thanks to hidden Wi-Fi chips. Version 2.0 was the release that made me personally switch to Engine. Ableton Link alone is quite exciting, but the absolute game changer and the real catalyst for my project was Engine Lighting. Being able to control my music and lighting effects at the same time without an extra laptop or hardware is just great. Version 3 introduced the first sampler in a standalone system, reworked effect engines and of course stamps better. At this point, Engine DJ could barely be compared to its origins in 2017. But the journey continues, and today we are opening the next big chapter. For the sake of a better structure, I have divided the new features of Engine DJ 4.0 into two main areas. On the one side, we can look forward to a substantially improved user interface, which also addresses some popular user requests. Combined with this, we also get our own layout manager in the settings. On the other hand, some useful practical functions have also been incorporated, which in total provide additional benefits for our DJing routines when it comes to organizing and performing alike. Before and after comparisons are always the best way to illustrate a refreshed interface. Let's start in the library view, where we immediately notice the higher contrast, the elimination of many green elements and a new menu bar. It has a nice stealth bomber look, wouldn't you agree with me? The same here again with the enlarged font. Here is the prepare list view. It is easy to see how the space is better utilized. More tracks can be displayed simultaneously, and we get a new column with the preview waveforms, quite nice. The new search deserves a special mention. If you take a look at the highlighted areas, you can see that a lot of space was previously wasted due to the 3 separate access points and that extra menu bar. This now has been consolidated and greatly improved. Here is a first look at the performance view. The metadata and the decks have been restructured. We get additional information and the performance pads have been moved to the bottom. Finally, the vertical mode, and here I have activated the key change view, as well as the record and continuous mode, to illustrate the revised menu bar. I don't think I've promised you too much at this point. The whole user interface really looks much more streamlined and modern. Now, could we justify the big jump in the version number at this point already? Not yet. Because there's one important piece of the puzzle that completes this entire UI concept, and that is the layout manager, together with the new performance library. And as far as the latter is concerned, well, at this point I have to ask myself whether the almighty Ra even had a hand in this, because that idea really could have come from me. Oh well, let me show you. At first, this layout manager might look as spectacular as your aunt's text declaration, but this new menu within the settings is quite something, because all UI relevant parameters are now centralized here. You can change all the values shown here instantly, without having to restart your system. In addition, you can save 3 personalized views in the corresponding slots. A not unimportant detail, day mode runs independently of this, which makes perfectly sense, as the layout is a question of personal preference, while the day mode is more a matter of the current lighting situation, which can change quickly. With this layout manager, you can now set the number of visible decks and waveforms independently of each other. 4 decks, 2 waveforms, bring it on. 2 decks, 4 waveforms, go for it. 4 decks and 4 waveforms, here you go. And all this shenanigans is also available in the horizontal waveform view. Well, this is a very exemplary solution. So here we are in the new user interface. The first visible change is the now unified menu bar, and therefore takes up less space overall than the 2 separate menu bars before. We can still scroll through our lists, sort, filter, match, change the font size, you name it, all the standard stuff. The first really big change is the tree view on the side where you can select your playlist. Until now, this playlist tree was always displayed and took screen space, even if you no longer needed it. However, a new icon has now appeared at the bottom here. Note that you need to have selected a track for it to get displayed. If you click on it, the tree structure disappears, and you get a full view of your track list, now including preview waveforms and the cue points that may have been set. Looks pretty good and is practical to have at your disposal. With the hide playlist tree toggle activated, your forward and backward buttons now also work a little differently. You don't have to press this toggle every time, but you simply press back to display the tree view again instead. You can then use the push encoder to conveniently select a different playlist, confirm once or press the forward button, and the side view will disappear again. If you press the back button again, Engine DJ jumps another level to the left, into the global selection area. This allows you to quickly jump through the 3 levels of your library navigation. Use this button at the top to switch to the performance view. And this is what it looks like. Here at the top we have the redesigned menu bar again, now adapted to the performance view. The space has been optimized and there is better direct access to important areas. Click here again to switch between the performance and library view. This icon takes us to search, and this also has been greatly improved. It is now integrated into the menu bar and finally offers the option to search in the entire collection or just a specific playlist, something that many users have been asking for. There are 2 ways to exit the search. Either click here on the left again to switch back to performance view, or you can click cancel on the right to remain in the library view. This is just another very useful detail that speeds up your workflow. The next menu icon takes you to your touch effects. They work just as well as before, and there have been some smaller optimizations under the hood. Fader Echo and Quantize can be conveniently switched on and off here. Direct access to your Wi-Fi menu is a new feature. Tap here once, and you will be in your network list. And if you dial in the address of your own Stargate, please ensure that no nasty replicate is coming through. A brand new addition is this gear icon here, which takes you directly to your system settings without having to go through that pull-down menu. You can see how much faster it is in comparison here when looking at animation. By the way, the menu remembers the last section you were in. So let's say I select the mixer section, leave the settings and return to my performance view. If I select the gear icon again, I return to set settings for my mixer section. This principle works for all 4 sections above and is ideal for quickly checking the effects of changed settings. One more general thing. The hot cues are now located down here and take up a little less vertical space. The decks also have been compressed a little bit and restructured. All the time, key and BPM parameters are grouped in this area. If sync mode is activated, tap directly on the BPM to change the lead deck. Here you have the pitch information, here loop and beat jump. And what is that? Oh la, you can see the track artwork now. And there's also the artist name. So all in all, it's prettier and more informative. As a disclaimer, I can only speak for the all-in-one systems here. The solo decks, from my observation, still need a little bit more fine-tuning, but yeah, all in all, it's pretty good. Here, I have loaded another track on deck 4, and the color representation is still very good. That way you can always see exactly which deck is currently engaged and actively controlled by you. I have switched deck 3 to line in for demonstration purposes. I think this little icon here is a nice detail. It would have been nice, though, if a corresponding indication also had been displayed in this empty area, or if this dead waveform space could simply be hidden automatically. I would like to show you this last goodie here, activated via the Layout Manager. This brings the library into performance mode, but this time it is also available for horizontal waveforms. So you have your waveforms here and your current playlist here. What I like about this whole view now is that it is very similar to a laptop DJ interface. You have the global settings at the top here, your decks below, the waveforms at the bottom right and your playlist on the left. In principle, the only thing missing here now would be a preview of your playlist, but you have to understand that the space on a 10 or especially 7-inch display is simply too limited, so it's fine. In addition to the new user interface, we have been given a few more functions. I will show you 2 of them as examples. One topic that is often controversial among DJs is the correct position of the playhead marker. Especially for electronic-focused DJs like me, it can be far enough off the left to look as far ahead as possible in your track. For some performance DJ, however, a sampled position makes much more sense. Fortunately, a worldwide is no longer required to solve this ancient dispute, as Engine 4.0 provides us with the option to set this playhead position for ourselves. So, depending on your setting, you can look ahead up to 16 beats, sometimes a little bit more. Can be useful for timing your beat jumps or drops properly. I'm getting really nerdy with the second example. It's a small but subtle detail that I noted in engine lighting. Do you spot it? I'm talking about this dinky exit button here. That's indeed a new addition. A ridiculously small detail, but it shows how much attention is being paid to an underlying much bigger issue: redundancy. With a DJ system, it's important to have multiple ways to get to your destination. No hardware is perfect, and a prime force view button is prime example of this. If this little guy breaks and cannot be repaired quickly, it is good to know that you can also reach all areas via the touchscreen, the new interface, the improved search, the layout manager, and set close button in engine lighting are examples of how you always have an alternative. And having alternative brings additional security. That was a whole load of new features. I think I'll just settle back into my sarcophagus, but before doing so, I would like to draw a brief conclusion, which can be summarized particularly well at one point. The first hardware with Engine DJ, the SC5000 player, came onto the market in 2017. And today, this player also received the software update to Engine 4.0 7 years later. I would like to emphasize that this is not a given in the fast-moving market. Even most smartphones with incomparably stronger specs are being dropped earlier. I think that alone deserves the highest praise. This is a good signal for all Engine users. Rest assured, you're fine. Well then, get the update and go wild. As for my part, I will be devoting the coming weeks to some really cool sets that I've already in the final stages of preparation for you. We shall meet again.